Hello, everybody, and welcome to Shifan Pro's Empowered Women in Blockchains. I'm delighted to have our first time guest speaker and also one of our new partners to Shifan Pro, the wonderful Christopher Müller. Chris, it's an absolute honor to have you here. I love your smiley face. You're always so positive. I always feel uplifted whenever I speak with you. So it's a real honor and privilege to have you here and sharing with all the ladies and fellows at Shifan Pro exactly what you're up to these days. It's really quite astonishing. So please, over to you. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it to be here. And as always, when we hang out together, it's really lovely, and I love the discussions how what we do. And I believe that we all have the same good vision when it comes to using crypto for good, to making the best out of it, because it's, yeah, how we like to say, the crypto world is ready for the mainstream. And I really like your approach you're doing here. And I'm looking forward to do more together. And yeah, especially, you know, the vision of us between and with the company of mine, ecosis, is to use the protocols out there to something good and to make something, to design an infrastructure to have Web3 more secure and trustable and verified and sustainable at the end, because Web3 is about crypto and crypto is about capital, and that's how it is. And we all are kind of dependent on how money flows and how cash flows is designed. And we believe that's really, really important, because cash flow is a base for everything nowadays that needs to be done in a really, really sustainable way. And this is why I'm looking forward to work with people together who has the same vision here to yeah, use it for something good out there. I'm personally, I used to be a long time ago a developer and system administrator. And when I was a little bit younger, I'm around about 13 right now, was a little bit younger in my teeny age, I was like, it would be so awesome when I got to know to Facebook and so on, to have something that people can live out of this. But I have never expected there will come something like blockchain or so. And like between 4 and 5 years, I have heard from blockchain, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something possible I could do to use the technology to do something in this direction, but I never was sure how. And I have seen a lot of great projects out there who's doing the best, all the great communities, who is taking all the power together and building something really, really powerful. And blockchain is one thing, but when it comes to smart contracts, I was like, okay, nobody can tell me anymore that we have not the technology nowadays to make better infrastructure and, you know, to adopt, so to say, the whole world to make something much, much more accessible when it comes to financial, much more accessible for the user out there. And this is what I'm believing in. Maybe it's naive, but I don't think so, because I believe that crypto technology is with a big gap much, much better than conventional financial infrastructure. I don't say it because I want to replace it. I'm saying this because I believe it's time to prove that what we have right now is ready to build something more modern, more sustainable, and more accessible to everyone. Because our financial infrastructure is mostly built upon debts, and I believe this is not needed anymore. You know, the things we see in the conventional financial infrastructure is something from the last century, but here in the next century, and let's do something out of this.
Love that. I love that, and I love what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell us more. Please tell us more. It's exciting.
What we are building actually is a partnership network, and it's a partnership network at the end. We don't want to offer the big next new wheel. We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We are more looking for combining the great technologies in a really conscious way somehow. I want to give you an example. There are cool technologies like SafeMoon and OlympusDAO Fork. And I'm saying this not because of what the core team, what they are so, because they're discussing about the core team about SafeMoon and so forth. I have researched it, they are all good guys, but it's always like, okay, then you have a deflationary token, but what you do with it right now, just putting money in it to have a Ponzi-like system. So And I see, well, be careful, such mechanism could be good if you combine it in a good way. And if, for example, the mechanism, the deflationary mechanism of SafeMoon, if this is a utility, the deflation is taking its result. What I mean with that is, to make a protocol or an asset more deflationary, it needs to be a utility somehow, because the utility at the end, because of the fee, the taxes mechanism behind that, does the magic. I'll give you an example. When you have an asset which you move around, which is more or less you are forced to move it around, then it takes effect because of the taxes fee. There's a portion which get burned and another portion which get redistributed to all token holders. And we were thinking about, okay, how can you use such mechanism? One example, and I will get to this example back in a few minutes, but the next great thing I believe is OlympusDAO. Just because of its real genius mechanism when it comes to mathematics and how you use a technology like this, so to say, using the all principles of for bonding treasury. So you bond an asset into a treasury to have and mint money out of this, but this money is really backed by something with value behind. Well, this is a real wonderful idea. And we are thinking about, okay, if central banks, for example, bonds is assets in a treasury with debts, why not bonding with something which acts like a store of value? Well, and now here comes a little magic, just to give in core principles of our ecosystem here. If you use a deflationary asset and you combine that with a bonding mechanism when it comes to using a treasury to mint money, this is much more sustainable when, for example, unlike you do with stable coins. I know I trigger a lot of discussion because many people say, yeah, but the good thing about stable coins is that it's not so volatile, right? Basically, that's right. But the problem with stable coins, most stable coins out there, is that they're patched to fiat. And what is fiat? Well, inflationary. And we were like, okay, one moment. What if you have kind of a self-destroying gold and can put it into a treasury, and this gold is utility in the background, so it decreases in supply and redistributes to other treasuries in the system, to other token holders in the system, so kind of a passive reward thing. What if this mechanism could back the real money out there? And this is how we do, this is our core principle. So this is the core of everything, but then we was like, okay, but the magic at the end is not just because of out of one protocol or one solution. If you want to have a real sustainable money out there, it needs to be backed by multiple legs, so to say. So it makes no sense to have a system stabilized with only one leg. It's the same with human, right? You stay there with 2 legs, or the other animals, they have 4 legs or whatever. It's a real strange, it's strange to compare it like this, but I want to say is, what if you can back money with an innovation of a network of innovations, and these innovations are backed by something which is a store of value, and this is what we do. It's a real simple concept at the end, but the magic is done out of the community, out of the network, out of the ecosystem by itself. So money is just backed by the whole ecosystem, and each entity within the ecosystem is backed by a store of value. This is what we do, basically. This is the main mechanism behind ecosis. And there's a second thing what we believe what could be interesting long-term for everyone all over the world. It is 2 topics, passive income and passive payment. I'm careful with taking the word basic income, because basic income is defined that you have a fixed amount of in the month that you can pay your bills for sure. But let's keep the word passive income, because even passive income is something really great and magical. And we were thinking about, well, if a system like ours, we are just an example. We don't want to be in a position like God or so. We just want to be a role model when it comes to combining all these technologies. But Let's say if you have something which can generate more sustainable passive income long-term, that would mean theoretically that you just can have a passive payment. What does that mean? Well, what if there is a way that you don't need to spend so much money anymore to pay things? What if you can delegate your stake to someone so the things are get paid passively in the background? Why is that so important? Well, because of two things. The first thing is there's cash flow, nevertheless, because of the bonding principle and the whole infrastructure. He uses the store of value and the minted currency out of the treasury. This is one thing. But the second thing is that if you are not forced anymore to spend all of your money for bills and so on, that means that you have something in reserve. And where's the money, where's the idea coming from? It's relatively simple. And that comes to the point of making financial more accessible to the average Joe, or let's say average Zeus. The thing is relatively simple. What are biggest investors out there really doing? How do they pay their bills? Well, they never spend their money. They put the money to work and pay the bills out of revenues. And we were thinking of, what if this could be something usable for everyone? Why not doing this? Why should not everyone do such thing? The only thing which needs to be solved is to make this principle more accessible. And yeah, well, the more people, of course, it's the same when it comes to interest rates. The more people who use the system, the more it works out, of course. But the difference here is there's a difference between interest rate and Ponzi at the end. Ponzi means that the last adopters lose their money because the first adopters taking the money from the last, right? From the least, I mean. But interest rates means that if there is something which has demands and you tokenize this, you can have an interest rate when you borrow this somehow. And this is where a treasury system at the end comes on. And this is why this cash flow is in the background working out. And this cash flow can be used for passive income. And if there is passive income, you can have an automated system behind which takes this passive income, split it for you, and you can pay passively. So we have two products which does the magic here when it comes to ecosis. The bonding system is from a partner. The first product is Band, which is a store of value. This is the deflationary effect to back everything. And the final product is Nomics. And Nomics is at the end a token which is an autonomous payment system. And how it works at the end is relatively simple. If you have one Nomics, what you do is you delegate a portion of your funds to someone else, and the system in the background is paying the one you're delegating to and splitting the reward so you can pay them. So long story short, there are several layers how this works at the end, but to come back what I was saying at the very beginning, this is what the magic is. We combine all these great sophisticated protocols out there, which are all genius in my opinion, and the combination builds the infrastructure. And this is what we try to do. Hopefully it works out. At the end, it will only work out if people believe that this works out, so to say. Sounds strange, but I have really experienced not everyone has the interest for such thing, but to everyone who I was talking personally, all the people saying mostly, well, yeah, if I have something to have cash flow passively in the background and can use it to pay things so I don't need to spend so much money, that would be something really interesting in the future. And imagine if you use that globally and have developed the right infrastructure with the right partners. There's no reason to use conventional financial infrastructure anymore. Like I said, we don't want to replace them, but we want to show the conventional world out there that this is possible nowadays. There's no argument why not. If someone says, no, the conventional financial system is good, why this and that? It's mostly because they want to defend the position. They want to keep their running system somehow, which I totally understand. But I believe it's time to become a new kind of role model when it comes to financial and capital.
would absolutely agree with you, and I love what you're doing, and I love the spirit and the, you know, the energy of what you're doing. It's remarkable, it really is. And, you know, I think it's going to create meaningful difference, you know, globally for so many people, and people who need it as well, people that would really benefit. And I'm, you know, certainly very interested in it all. I don't know about you, Joanne, but it's just fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah,
thank you. This is so interesting, the position we are right now, because when we are pitching this, when we're sharing the white paper and having a call, and I can explain it more, the people are mostly like, yeah, okay, we believe we understand what you try to do. But what in the situation right now where we are, because we are in mid our launch, the most people have a quick overview of that, and because you need to have a deeper look, otherwise this is a really abstract thing at the end, and this is nothing which you can understand with this finger snip. I mean, when I explain it like this, okay, but when I only share a white paper, and better to say the documentation, there's so much in between which needs to be to understand why this should work out. I give you an example. When it comes to the discussion, what is money? Whoa, this is so tough discussion, because most people don't understand what money actually is. And I don't want to blame it, because I totally understand it. If you don't have educate yourself what financial or what capital is, how's money working, what are our current financial infrastructures, this is a real abstract thing. And I totally understand this, but this is because it's a base for everyone nowadays. It's maybe sad, but it is how it is. It's so important that it's understood what money is and where's money come from. Why is there a value in the bill you have in your hand actively? Why and where is it coming from? And there's a reason from the mid of last century why money is backed by debts. Just because of there was a gold standard and it was not working out, and it was really, really troubling, especially after the World War II. It was so troubling globally for everyone, and there need to be kind of, we call it in development hot fix, but this is the whole idea is not sustainable. And yeah, now we need to think about what is sustainability for us, not just because of financial things, just in general. If you design a system, it needs to be sustainable. Otherwise, you need to replace that somehow, somewhere later. And this takes much resources. This is with hard assets, it's like that. This is with how we use smartphones, cars, real estates when it comes to that. And of course, for money as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely, Chris, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So tell me, how do, you know, for anybody that's watching back on the recording, how do they, you know, A, get involved, and B, you know, how could they reach out to you if they do have any questions or they want to learn more? What are people to do?
So we are in a stage of private sale. And if everyone wants to participate somehow, the best thing to do is just join the community. And it's just an open community. We are not a meme DAO like many others out there. This is really something everyone who has an idea is invited to share this idea, because we want everyone to improve that. The more people improving that, the better. So to participate is just join the community and share your ideas. There are many things which are needed to do, and we are often like to reward things. For example, one of our partners is ecosis Laboratories, and what it is at the end kind of an community-based hackathonish DAO, and because we wanted to have a space where people just can try out first. What I have experienced in my life is, even if you are not an expert in the field, but you have a feeling about something, it's good to trial and error and have a sandbox, so to say, where you can play around and with your ideas. And even if you work with other people together on this idea, there came brilliant things out of this. And this is why we love to get in touch with other with other people out there who have just an idea, first of all, and communicate it somehow. This is something you can participate right now. The next thing is we have the private sale. Everyone is invited to get on whitelist when it comes to if you like to invest, but we're not the people who say, come on and buy and buy and buy. We don't want that, because we believe the system works the best if and is most sustainable if you first of all find a way to trust it, watch it, and see what people are behind. How is the community working? Are there other cool guys in it, boys and girls, etc. pp. And it's really important and to get in touch first. So we are not like, we don't want to dump and pump the whole thing here. It's more important to make it grow organically. And this is why, first of all, we say, just join, watch, get to know each other, get to know me. I'm mostly active in the community on Discord, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Telegram. And I'm very active in the community, so you can reach out to me personally and can ask me anything at any time. I always like to answer stuff. And sometimes I make a video message or so when I have something on my mind I would like to share. And everyone is invited to do this by their own. I like communication. Communication is the best to improve everything and to grow organically at the end. And to grow organically and improve everything is the best for the whole system long term, right? Yeah, this is the thing. May we have our official launch. We have planned to do this on May 1st. And yeah, there's the main sale on Gate.io planned. And what you already can use is we have our own native wallet. We have, for a reason, our own native wallet, because especially because ecosis want to be a gateway to a secure Web3 ecosystem. We wanted to have our own wallet where natively the ecosystem assets are supported and not others out there. I know it's like it's an exclusive ecosystem, but it's not it's nevertheless permissionless. There's a difference here. Why we're doing this is, well, we want to whitelist partners and whitelist assets and tokens, because we want nobody as much as we can to lose money just because of there's pump and dump meme projects out there. So the wallet is out. You can use that already. It's all running on the Avalanche ecosystem. So Avalanche is already usable in the wallet. And when the sale is, you can of course have your bands, and this is the store of value, the deflationary asset in the wallet. After Band is launched in May, Cunoro Finance is launching in June. So if you own bands, you can take it and bond it into the treasury to mint Noro tokens. The Noro token is the token of the cash flow system for the ecosystem at the end. And if Cunoro Finance is launched somewhere until August, we are going to launch Nomics. And Nomics is the asset which you can just hold, and it wraps for you the Noro stake in the background. And this is why Nomics is not inflationary, because we don't mint more Noros. It just collects behind the stake, so to say. Yes, this is what we do this summer. And we have much more partners we're gonna launch. For example, we have a partner which is boostedDAO, which is an electric shared mobility project. So you can use the system with scooters, electric cars, and bikes. But this is highly under development recently. We're gonna launch our own launchpad in case you want to participate with your own company, with your own DAO, and then you can write a proposal, submit, and then we're gonna discuss everything. If we see, okay, you have a real sustainable vision you want to realize here and accomplish, and then you got backed with Band token, just because we want to back with you with something deflationary, like the same with the treasury here. And if a DAO is backed with Band, it has the permission to get wrapped into the Nomics Nomics token at the end. And the more projects, innovative projects are wrapped into the global final currency, the better this is for the currency. So first of all, just join the community, and the rest is self-dynamic, so to say. And yeah.
Fabulous. Thank you, Chris, for that. That's amazing. So what we'll do here at SheFam Pro is once we've posted this recorded interview, we'll with the lovely Christopher Müller, what we'll do is we'll post any links under there, you know, for your community, so that anybody watching back can simply click on those links and, you know, have a look around, ask any questions, and reach out to Chris directly if needs be, with any, you know, proposals, ideas, questions, whatever it might be. I know, Chris, you're very approachable, aren't you? You're one of the most laid back, approachable people in the space that I've had the pleasure to come across. So that's not a problem, is it?
Yeah, of course. And yeah, this is why we to work and partner with you, for example, with SheFam Pro, because what's really important for us is that we need lovely people in the ecosystem. The more lovely people are from the core, so to say, I believe the more the world is working out of role models, and if good people are in front, so to say, that inspires other people and take examples out of this. And maybe it sounds strange, but hopefully it sounds not strange. Sorry for that, but we need more women in the space.
Yeah,
I can tell you why. And the current situation with the Ukraine war is the best example. Men are mostly, I'm sorry, men, and I'm saying this, I'm not against men, but there's another vibration behind it, mostly. And it's always what I see in the world, what sometimes honestly makes me sad is, it's not only men, I know that, but everyone wants to be better than the next one. And I'm annoyed of this, because if we want to make something great all together and want to live in peace, and we need harmony in it. And if harmony is a base, there's more space for discussions, for ideas, because people are not forced to things anymore. And the one thing I hate is when someone forces you to do something, tells you what's the best for you, and so on and so forth. And sometimes I'm missing this even in the crypto space, to be honest, you know. And yeah, this is really why I like to work with you, with SheFam Pro, because I believe we need more lovely people here. And this is why I was smiling the whole event the last, because it felt really great. And yeah, looking forward for more people with harmony. And I know it sounds really softy for someone, but we are human. And we build out of love, you know, and this is what we need if we want to have something great to build. We want to build all together. And yeah, this is so important.
Absolutely. It's just crucial, isn't it? I mean, if you come from a place, you know, of love and harmony and good relationships, and a safe, open, comfortable space where you can ask questions and you can share problems and you can share solutions and really work together, then something very magical, very powerful starts happening.
And I believe in it. And this, you know, sometimes it surprised me. So much people believe in that as well. Most people are not showing this. I believe because the society gives you the feeling you need to be the strongest and so on. And maybe in the early days when we was apes, it was like that. But we are now in another, we are now better than that. You know,
we've evolved.
Yeah, exactly.
We've evolved and grown, and you know, and our spirit should follow that as well, and guide and lead us as well, you know, in that same spirit, you know, of love and sharing and coming together and being more humane towards each other and less competitive, but more solution focused, from a place of love and good humanity.
Yeah, exactly. The competitions thing you said, this is exactly the thing. Because let's say there are two companies with the same idea, but there are different people behind it, so they have a little bit different expertise. Why not combining this? why needs to be everyone the first? And this is, for example, our system is first of all designed so it's an anti-fragile system, but it's also like we want to support parties in the market and not to compete with each other. And this is why we have this exclusive mechanism at the end. This is why Band this is why Band is first of all an utility. It gives you the permission that you are vetted and verified with a good approach here. So what we want to do at the end is we love to support people with the same vision here, and this is why it's deflationary. It needs to be a deflationary asset as well, not just because of to be a store of value, just because of you need to find a way to whitelist good ones out there. It sounds strange, but it's not. It doesn't mean this is a centralized system, or it's with working with permission. It's more like you need to prove you have a goodwill.
Yeah.
And it takes more time then, I know that. But more time often and more organically often means more sustainability at the end. And yeah, we all need that. That's how it is.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more with you there. And I just invite anybody watching this recording anytime in the future to reach out, and join the community and ask a question. You don't know unless you ask, do you? And we can all jump to assumptions and wrong conclusions, but unless we ask a question and get in there and ask, then we're not going to get the real answer until we actually do that. So definitely ask any questions.
Yeah, conversation is everything, because if there is something which is misunderstood and this is scaled long term, that means that makes much issues, and nobody long term knows where's the issue coming from. Why do we have war? Because of something in the very past. So we need to communicate. We need to in dialogues.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. We do. Communication is absolutely key, isn't it? It's so important for everything in our life, and so many confusions, conflicts, whatever it is, whether it's a relationship, business, or something on a deeper level, like you just mentioned there with Ukraine. A lot of it can come from miscommunication or poor communication or lack of communication, and it's all about the communication, isn't it?
What's really interesting when it comes to communication, why do not so many people dare to say something what they have in mind? Well, yeah, they have the feeling that could be wrong, or they have the feeling that the society around someone is forcing someone to be always correct and to have something good on mind. But this is the wrong approach, and this is exactly, to come back to that, this is exactly why I hate that if people forces other people to think about something in this specific way, or just be open. It doesn't mean that no one is 100% right at something. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, Chris, what can I say? Thank you much for being here today. Thank you so much. It's always a delight and a pleasure to speak with you and communicate with you at any level. It's always a joy when I see a message pop up on Telegram from you, because it's always a positive one. You're such a positive person. It's very uplifting to be around.
Well, thank you. I really love to hear that.
Thank you. So thank you for joining us.
And I really appreciate that we get together and we have the same vision, and we partnered immediately. That was really, it felt so good to add the logo on the landing page from you, and to make traffic against each other. We need more of that, and let's do something great together.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Chris, for joining us here today at SheFanPro. Just really hoping that you'll come back one day in the future and keep us, appraised of developments and everything, and let us all know how you're doing and everything. That would be so great if you could.
Sure.
Thank
And
you.
let's continue with more podcasts and so on. I really love to talk with you. Makes fun.
Yeah, sure thing, definitely. And we'll catch up later. And for everybody here that's watching the recording, thank you for taking time out of your day to join us here at Shifan Pro and hear everything that Christopher Müller has had to say today. It's really exciting. And yeah, it's just been a great call. Thank you so much. It's a real pleasure.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.